Okay. Part 4. Oh, let me actually listen to the opening this time around. I'll close my eyes so I won't rewatch the possibly spoilery visuals, but yeah, let me listen to it. Yeah, it is as good as I remembered. It really knows how to build itself. I'm not a music person, but yeah, that was really fun. I try to not listen to the lyrics because I understand Japanese quite a bit, but yeah, that was fun. Anyways, this is part 4. We're now continuing on. Since last time I had a chance to chat with one of my friends, and they said that I should check out the tips menu and possibly character menu. Whoa. No, stop. Okay, guess I'll just move around my mouse. I should check the character and tips menu to see lore or maybe things that might change. And I also went back and did some note taking. So I now have every character name and some info or possible lore that was mentioned before that I might think might be important later on. I also tried to catch. Fuck you. No, stop. I tried to catch ages of people as much as I could. So Battler and Jessica are 18. Maria is 9. George is 24, 23. Canon is 16. Kumasawa, the old maid, is around 80 years old. Goda, the butler, is came to this island 2 years ago, and Canon and Shannon have been here longer, and Canon has been presumably much longer. Because okay, I stop. Canon has. Maybe I'll just actually just load. Yeah, let's just do this so it doesn't. Guest house. Okay. So yeah, it was said that the Canon came here like a year earlier than Goda, and but then Battler already knew the name of Shannon, so presumably Shannon had been here for over 6 years. What else? I mean, just in case, I listed out names beyond just Rokkenjima and Izu Archipelago. So like Nijima and the new Tokyo Airlines, and I also listed Kawabata, the pilot flying them to Nijima from New Tokyo with New Tokyo Airlines. I don't know if that's important at all. And also, I listed one name that I had forgotten, Angie, which I think is like Kyrie's and Rudolph's daughter, or at least Kyrie's daughter, so like stepsis to Battler, who left, didn't come to this trip because of being sick. Some notes that I took was like, Battler's mom died 6 years ago, and he went to live with his grandparents, who then later on died, and he went back to living with his dad. I know I wrote down that Ava knows some self-defense or like martial arts stuff like Tai Chi Chuan, Karate, Taekwondo, Capoeira, and one more that she's currently learning. There's a typhoon approaching the Kanto region and this general area, I guess. The captain has a modded high-speed boat. Rudolph, according to Battler, Rudolph betrayed Battler's mom, and Battler still hasn't gotten over that. And then there was one foreshadowing line from when they were about to reach Rokkenjima. Kumasawa went like, long ago, Rokkenjima was ... And then Jessica interrupted her saying, let's not talk about that now. So that's interesting. There's definitely something in the history of this island. Natsuhi keeps having headaches, and there was also poisoning stuff mentioned. Then I also made a small family tree with Kinzo, the grandfather, being at the top. Then oldest sibling Kraus, second oldest Ava, third oldest Rudolph, and fourth oldest or youngest, I think. So far I know only of 4 siblings is Rosa. Kraus says, and Natsuhi's daughter is Jessica, the oldest and heiress of the family, probably. Ava and Hideyoshi have George. Rudolph and Kyrie have Battler and Angie. And Rosa has Maria, but I didn't find anywhere, at least in the backlog, where they would have said anything about Maria's father. I don't think he was mentioned at all. I just have Rosa here. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. Also, there was, going back to the poisoning, there was more stuff about poisoning in the very intro scene with Kinzo and the doctor Nanjo Terumasa and Kinzo's butler runaway Genji. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I have noted so far. I'll keep taking notes and I'll edit and update them between parts. For now, let me just go to... let's start with... Which one should we start with? I mean, I just talked about characters, but let's just take a second look to confirm stuff, I guess, first. Ah, okay, they do have a family tree here. Cool. Okay, so we have here Jessica, Ava, Hideyoshi, and wait, oh right, because we don't have portraits. So yeah, this would be Kraus and what's her name again? Natsuhi. Kraus and Natsuhi, Ava, Hideyoshi, George, Rudolph, Kyrie, Battler, Rosa, Maria, and we don't know who is the father here. And then we have Canon, Kumasawa, and what the fuck was your name again? Let me just actually keep this thing open here. I should remember it, but Goda Toshiro. Then we have I guess Shannon and Genji. Maybe this is like the butler staff. Yeah. I assume Kinzo goes here, but we don't, and then the grandmother, who we don't know, would go here, I guess. Okay. Okay, cool. Stuff comes up when I click them. Ushiromia Jessica, Krause's and Natsu's daughter. In the absence of any irregularities, it is thought that she will eventually inherit the headship of the Ushiromia family, or rather, her husband will. However, she seems to have no interest in all of this. Born with weak bronchi, don't know what that is, and sometimes assailed by sudden asthma attacks. Ooh, okay, asthma and sorry, I'm blanking on the names. Natsuhi. Natsuhi has headaches. You have asthma. Okay. Do we get... No, I can't click on Kraus or Natsuhi yet. Okay. Ushiromiya Eva. Kinzo's second child. Hostile towards her brother Kraus and opposes him in almost everything. From issues dealing with the family fortune to the questions of who will succeed the family headship. Normally, she would have lost her place in the Ushiromiya register upon her marriage, but she managed to forcibly overcome this by having her husband take her family name. Okay. Good guy. What is there? Okay, I'll click that in a second. I'll just read this first. Oh, it probably just loops backward, or yeah, okay. Ushiromiya Hideyoshi, Eva's husband, took his wife's name upon their marriage and was welcomed into the Ushiromiya family. Therefore, he does not possess the spiteful Ushiromiya genes, and his bright smile is very refreshing at the family conferences. He started his business from scratch and now works as the president of a company operating medium-sized restaurant chains. Ah, okay, yeah, I knew he was, I remember him being a president or like owner of something, but I didn't remember it was restaurants. Okay. Apparently business is soaring and things are going extremely well. And nothing happens there. Okay. Yeah. Ushiromiya George, Eva and Hideyoshi's son. An affable young man liked by everyone in his family. God, this word is such a meme if you watch Trash Taste or abroad in Japan. Liked by everyone in the family. He is currently studying as an assistant for his father's company, and it seems he dreams of making it on his own one day. The oldest of the 4 cousins, he acts as their leader and arbitrator. Yep, that is true. Ushiromiya Rudolph, Kinzo's 3rd child. Along with his sister Eva, he intends to make his voice heard during the family conference to prevent their elder sibling, Kraus, from keeping all of their father's wealth for himself. Lost his former wife, Asumu. Okay, let me just, I'll note that down later. Actually, fuck it, we're doing it live. Asumu. Battler's dead mom. There we go. 6 years ago, and married his current wife Kirie straight after that. Yep. Ushiromiya Kirie, Rudolph's second wife. They had been business partners for a considerable length of time before the passing of his first wife, at which time she openly took the position. I see. So maybe there was some cheating going on, and that's what Battler considers the betrayal. I'm just guessing. Served as Rudolph's right hand in several shady pieces of business, guiding them to success. I see. Quick thinking and deeply trusted by her husband. Okay. So she's very quick-witted, like we saw in the tea scene with the introduction of Shannon and Natsuhi, trying to guide things. Ushiromiya Battler, the son of Rudolph and his first wife Asumu, turned against his father 6 years ago when he married a second wife immediately after Asumu passed on. Yeah, maybe it was... I mean, yeah, it could have been just that it was straight after the passing of his mother. He went to live with his grandparents on his mother's side. However, both of these grandparents passed away, and he has now returned to Ushiromiya family after 6 years. This family conference is a chance for him to renew his friendship with his cousins after a 6-year gap. Kinzo's fourth child, by far the youngest of the four siblings. Okay, so this makes it seem like there are only 4, but it still says fourth and not the youngest. So okay. It seems that this gives her a weaker position at the family conference. She manages a design company, but has yet to start it seriously, and its financial situation is far from favorable. Let's see. Hello, Maria. Rosa's daughter. Her father's identity is unknown. I see. She can't shake off the habit of speaking like a young child, which often earns her a scolding. She has no interest in studying or making friends, but is very interested in things concerning the occult and black magic. And thanks to her excellent powers of memorization, she knows all kinds of obscure trivia. This will probably come in handy later on, considering we have witches, so we most likely definitely have magic as well. Okay. Hanan, a young servant, performs his duties silently and diligently, but due to his unsociable nature, he is not so highly regarded as a servant. There are several other servants with the On character in their pseudonyms. He and Shannon just happened to be the ones on duty that day. I see. Oda Toshiro, servant employed as a chef. I see. Yeah. So particularly as a chef. While he hasn't served the family long, he has a polished talent for entertaining guests, cultivated through his previous jobs, and is highly regarded as a servant. Since he was hired by Kraus, okay? Kraus. I'll just go with the Kraus instead of Kraus. Kraus and his wife, he is more trusted than those servants who have served the family longer and who are thought of as Kinzo's spies. I see. Masawa Chiyo. This elderly woman is a part-timer who has served the family for a great many years, despite quitting her job several times along the way. Yeah, that fits. Shrewd and more competent when it comes to performing her duties, but because of her chattiness and love of rumors, she is not highly regarded as a servant. Okay, and I'll be checking when we get new character sprites, assuming that that's when we get although it's weird that we don't have Kinzo here, or the Renoue Genji or Nanjo Terumasa, but you know. Oh well. Now let's check the tips section. I think, yeah, the green words that kept popping up every now and then, I think those are tips that will be here. Let's see. More? Yeah, there's definitely magic in this game. Okay, honorifics. Yeah, okay. So this is the part from the very intro. Japanese has suffixes called honorifics, which are attached to people's names to convey respect and other nuances about the speaker's relationship with the named person. Some, like sensei, can be and have been translated depending on context as doctor, teacher, miss, or other such terms. Yep. Others cannot be translated with any consistency and have been included verbatim. These include son, respect as a common courtesy, no honorific, intimacy as close friends, family, or lovers, sama, high respect, kun, friendly familiarity, normally to a young man, or respect for a subordinate. Yep. You often see teachers using this. Chan emphasizes femininity, cuteness, or childishness. For more detail, see Wikipedia Japanese honorifics. Okay. Words for family members. The following family-related terms are used verbatim. They are sometimes used on their own without an attached name. Oni-chan or Oni-san-chan, yeah. Older brother or young adult man. One-chan, one-san, ne-san, yeah. Older sister or young adult woman. Aniki, bro. Older brother or man senior to the speaker. Aneki, sis, yeah. Older sister or woman senior to the speaker. Younger siblings would normally be referred to by name only, or sometimes by chan. Chinese characters kanji. In addition to its own symbols, Japanese makes use of Chinese characters, which it calls kanji. Each kanji tends to have a range of meanings associated with it, and kanji are put together to make words. Many kanji can be pronounced or read in several different ways, and usually only one reading will be correct for any particular word. For instance, Tokyo has the kanji East, To, and capital Kyo. You know, I knew that actually. Can also be read Higashi, but Higashi-kyo will not be understood. The word Tokyo must be read with the Tokyo reading. Yeah. Sometimes, however, the kanji readings have to be ignored, and the word has to be pronounced in a unique way of its own. See Kira names. For example, Battler's name is Battler, meaning fight, and its readings are Sen, Iksa, and Tatakao. Yeah, Sen, Sento. Yeah. And Hito means person, and its readings are Jin, Nin, Hito, Ri, and To. Anyone first encountering the unique name Battler would probably try to read it as something like Sento. Yeah, he mentioned earlier that one of his nicknames is Sento-kun. No one would guess that he is called Battler. Not only is the reading of his name impossible to guess, but it is also an English word and doesn't sound remotely like a Japanese name. Yeah. The author is definitely having fun with Umineko names. And this is a Buddhist something, or I don't know. Derived from Namu Amida Butsu, a Buddhist prayer meaning I follow the Amida Buddha. It is also known as the Nembutsu, often heard in contracted words like Nammaida or Namu Namu. It is recited to express mindfulness of the Buddha. After the passing of a relative, this sutra is often chanted to express thankfulness and knowledge that the dead have been allowed into Amida's Pure Land, paradise. Okay, this part I didn't know. I didn't know the exact wording or stuff like this, but I vaguely knew about this stuff, this earlier paragraph here. Most Japanese funerals are conducted as Buddhist ceremonies, and Japanese culture in general is full of rituals and religious customs, but it is common to participate in these traditions regardless of one's own personal religious belief. The country is largely secular. Yup. Jessica's speech, oh yeah, this refers to her speech style. Like, she's a bit rowdy, or... In Japanese, men and women traditionally, or perhaps stereotypically, speak differently. Oh, is Jessica perhaps like an ore? Pronoun user? Or boku, maybe? And this difference is much larger than what you find in English. Jessica's speech is masculine, blunt, casual, and assertive. In Japanese, this is quite evident in a majority of her lines, using assertive and traditionally male particles like ze and casual slangy contractions. Ze. This is what I assume most people have watched Pokemon in English dub, but those who have watched some of the Japanese version, Ash speaks like this. He adds ze to almost all of his sentences, and it's definitely memorable. At least to me it was. Torii Gate. Torii is a ceremonial entry gate to a Shinto shrine. It is usually red and has a very recognizable and prominent square shape. Yep. And sometimes like goes like horny. I don't know. No, maybe not. I forget. Consisting of 2 vertical or slightly inward tilted pillars joined by 2 extended horizontal bars, one crowning the pillars and the other just below. Sometimes many torii are used in series along a path. And referring to yourself. Oh, right, this is yeah. How kids are, people sometimes use the third person. Yeah. In Japanese, Maria uses her own name instead of the word I when talking about herself. This is called Iliism. I've never seen this word before, but sure. I understand the meaning though, and is common among young Japanese children. It sounds childish and cute in Japanese and can be used by young adult women to achieve the same effect. Yeah, for example, in Genshin Paimon, in Japanese, calls herself Paimon. No, yeah. In the English voice, she calls herself Paimon, but weirdly enough, in Japanese, she doesn't. She uses the weird pronoun oira, which is like olden, I don't know, feudal Japan word some kids use. Or not even kids, just people in general. Even the other characters have various ways of referring to themselves because Japanese has more than one word for I. Yeah. Kinzo, Nanjo, Ava, Jessica, and a number of other characters use watashi, which is a neutral way of saying I. Battler uses I would have never guessed. Oh wow. Yeah, this was very obvious. Which is a masculine and George's boku, yeah, okay. Which is a masculine, self-asserting, and very casual way of saying it. George uses boku that fits him so well, which has a youthful, boyish, casual, and humble feel. Hideyoshi uses washi, yeah, which goes along with his strange accent and makes him sound older. There are many others. Yeah, there are. I recently learned of a very like weird way because there's like royal people you have like insane ways of referring to themselves, and usually it's like a very old me pronoun, but sometimes they use we as themselves. And in 2 recent anime I watched, an emperor character referred to themselves as Chin, which is funny because that's also like the word for dick, but like yeah, they just called themselves Chin and the subtitles used we. However, you will not always hear these words being used, just as you will not always hear Maria using her own name, because Japanese is a pro-drop language. Words like I, you, it, and so on are often simply left out when it's obvious who or what is being talked about. Yeah, right, okay. I'm not sure if I mentioned Maria not calling herself by her own name at one point, but yeah, sure. No. Oh. Okay, so Grimoire has like these, but I guess we don't have any tips then yet? Sure. Okay, that was a pretty long-winded way of starting the episode. We'll be going on for fucking 30 minutes already, oh my god. I guess this will be just a little bit longer of an episode then. The 4 of us cousins were shooting the breeze over all kinds of topics. After all, there are both girls and guys here. Plus, we've got people over a wide spread of ages, adult, high school, and elementary school. All each of us had to do was talk about ourselves, and it would be of great interest to the other three.
なんかやっと馴染んできたぜ。
Let me lower the volume on my end because it's quite loud. Yeah.
ジェシカもマリアも6年前からは想像もつかないくらい成長しちまったからよ。正直なところ少しだけ違和感を持ってたんだが、こうして話をしているうちに中身はあの頃から何も変わってないことが分かったぜ。
同じ言葉を返してやるよ。バートラだって6年ぶりだってのに全然変わってねえぜ。
I fully believe that.
図体がいくらでかくなっても中身は相変わらずお子様だってことだな。マリ
アもお子様。
Oh, that's kind of surprising. Usually kids are very, like, intent on proving themselves adults. But sure.
マリアもお子様。
マリアだっていつまでもお子様じゃねえぞ。お子様から可愛いお姫様に成長してくんだからな。そうしたらまな板みてえな胸もすぐジェシカ並みになるぞ。
Yeah.
そしたら揉ませてくれよ。約束だぞ。
Battler is a menace to society. We love him, but he's a menace. Oi.
揉ませる。約束する。
Yeah. I don't know if, like, as someone who's recording this, should I go like, oh my god, that's weird, or should I go like Pog? Both are, I don't know.
ダメだよマリアちゃん。
I'm not fussed about like this kind of stuff in fiction at all. Obviously, in IRL, it's fuck that shit, and we should kill anyone who does that kind of stuff. But like in fiction, it's totally fine. We just roll with it. I already played Higurashi, and it had some questionable stuff.
そんな約束しちゃダメ。
Okay, Mr. Morals.
約束したから揉ませる。マリア、約束は守る。
Hey.
絶対守る。
マリア、お前本当に素直ないい子だな。お前と結婚する未来の旦那さんはきっと幸せ者だぜ。
Maybe. I wonder if Maria would, as an adult, still keep calling herself in third person.
っていい話にすり替えつつ約束を保持してんじゃねえぜ。マリア、その約束はなし
約束取り消し。
やっぱりバトラ君も揃って4人で集まらないといとこが集合した気がしなかったね。この6年はやっぱり寂しかったよ。
Oh yeah?
そうだな。こういうふざけた話にはならなかったな。
Yeah, you are somewhat of a tomboy, but you're very much a stickler to the rules. And Maria was, well, each year earlier she was just younger and younger, so there was not much you could converse with her. So yeah.
でも建設的な話はできてたと思ったぜ。将来に対する心構えとか受験とか就職とかよ。
Yeah, that tracks with George being there.
悪うございましたね。俺が来たらおまぬけなドタバタばっかりでよ。
You have such a way with words.
でもマリアは今年のが楽しい。
そうだね。僕も同感。今年が一番楽しいよ。
Maria's sincere words probably spoke for everyone. Yeah, you guys have much more varied topics this year. When George Aniki stroked Maria's head, she giggled like a happy kitten.
失礼いたします。
Oh, Shannon reveal?
お食事のご用意ができました。
Timid knocking sound and an equally timid young woman's voice came through the door. Jessica answered brightly.
シャノン入れよ
George is about to go crazy. George is about to go beast mode.
バトラは覚えてるだろ
Jessica stood up from the bed and opened the door. Yeah. There stood a servant girl who was definitely about our age.
ご無沙汰いたしております。バトラ様。
Do you have a thing for Battler, or I mean that could just be your bit of a shy personality too, but like, come on, give George a chance.
6年ぶりでございます。シャノンです。
Noting my presence and trembling a little, she bowed deeply. How long until Battler makes a comment about her boobs? It took literally one line.
ジェシカにも驚かされたが、シャノンちゃんにも驚かされたぜ。
It shouldn't even have been a question to begin with. It was inevitable.
あんたもすっかり美人になったじゃねえのよ。
もったいないお言葉。
しかしよ、
Sorry.
この島じゃよっぽど食事の栄養価が高いんじゃねえのか。何を食ってどこを鍛えたらそんなにでっかいお胸になるんだか。ジェシカとどっちがでけえかちょいと触って確かめさせてもらうぜ。
That final bit of I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't laugh. It was like it was a battler noise. Sure. With both hands poised and saliva dribbling from my mouth, I closed in. For the sake of my honor and justice, I'd like to point out that I don't suffer from some strange disease that makes my lymph nodes itch until I scratch my neck open, and which can only be prevented by rubbing breasts. This line. Yeah. It's just my battler style way of communicating. Yeah. We do a bit of a boob meet and greet. You shake my hand, I shake your boob. When a boy closes in on a girl like this, 9 times out of 10, they get slapped or clobbered, right? Yeah. This is Battler-sama, original communication technique, aiming for a gag like that to break the ice. Oh, well, that means I really do get to touch them on that 1 in 10 chance though, right? Sure. Insert the earlier laugh. I'd never asked for that much though. This is a beautiful view. Let me just screenshot. Yep, nothing going on there. By now, my hands were less than a centimeter away from Shannon-chan's chest, but the counter-strike had yet to come. Where is our CSGO? She understood what was going on, and she was blushing and had her head lowered in embarrassment. Will this be a George clutch moment? Or maybe Jessica will punch you instead? But she was just standing there with both hands politely joined in front of her, not even trying to resist or cover her breasts. Whoa, I wasn't planning on this. Please hit me right now. At this rate, I'm seriously can't touch them. Which is why I was glad that Jessica chose that time to drive her elbow into the back of my head. And that's the end of Battler. New main character, POV, incoming.
ジェシカ、ありがとうよ。
なんで私が感謝されんだ
Jessica, you just need to come over this side and read Battler's inner thoughts. You would know then. Oh, yeah.
いやいや、すまんぜシャノンちゃん。魅力的な胸に思わず吸着されそうになっちまった。つうか、 さすがにあの間合いまで来たら犯罪確定だろ。ダメだぜ、抵抗しなきゃよ。
Eh,
ですけどバトラ様は大切なお客様ですし。
I hope there's, or yeah, I hope and wonder if there's, I hope there's not, but I wonder if there is, some stuff going on between her and some of the male characters, or female too, characters in this, story, who do stuff beyond, behind the scenes with her, to her.
あのな、お客様でも犯罪は犯罪。女の子の胸はだいたい10センチくらいからが防識別圏だな。2センチ圏まで侵入してきたら、これはもう領空侵犯だぜ。スクランブル発進で即ビンタを食らわせてやれ。
そんなことできません。私たちはその家具ですし。
This Kinzo's teachings, or of course she didn't want her breasts touched, but if a guest so desired, she intended to sacrifice her own needs in an effort to accommodate them. A girl like this needs some urgent protection. George Clutch, maybe?
今時こんな献身美徳な子がいるとは。軽いめまいすら覚えるぜ。でもダメだ。ダメなんだ。
Battler's voice actor is having so much fun.
俺がいやらしい顔で迫る。ハッタウス。いや、エッチ。そういうお約束じゃないとオチがつかねえんだよ。頼むよ、お願いだよ。俺を引っ叩いてくれよ。
Yeah, Shannon, it's your fault. Why didn't you know about how Battler's policies work when you hadn't seen him for 6 years? You should have known this.
こう、バチンと、バチンと。
お願いは聞けません。
What do you mean you cannot comply with polite requests? Do you need to be ordered?
家具ですから。でも命令ならお聞きします。
Right.
それが務めですから。
じゃあ命令させてもらうことにするよ。
Hey yo, George. I know he's gonna say something different, but hey yo, George. We were just talking about grabbing boobs. Hey yo.
次からバトラ君が胸に触ろうとしてきたら、平手打ちで反撃すること。
There we go.
いいね。
はい。仰せつかりました。
That's a bit different in Japanese than I expected. 仰せつかりました. I expected her to say 仰せのままに. Oh well.
以後、そのようにさせていただきます。バトラ様、ご承知おきくださいませ。
Ye get ready to be punched, slapped, and destroyed by Shannon. So Shannon Jan declared, while bowing elegantly to me. Her facial expression was radiant. I gave her a thumbs up to signal, you got it.
6年前はお手伝いさんの連れ子がついでにお手伝いみたいな印象だったんだけど、すっかり一人前の使用人さんだな。今年で何年になるんだ？
はい。おかげさまで10年ほどお使いさせていただいております。
Okay, 10 years. She's, Shannon, yeah? The kanji for her name are read as Shannon, yeah? This is another far from typical name for a Japanese person. Being a kid back in those days, I had taken in her name without paying it much attention. But for her to be called something like that is pretty unusual, given that she isn't even a member of the Ushiromiya family. Maybe it's like a servant's professional name or something. If so, I can kind of understand why that Kanon-kun's name sounds the way it does too. she's a long-term servant who served here since she was 6. Wait, she's 16 too? So the same age as Shannon, I guess. I mean, Canon. Okay, let me just write that down. So 2 years younger than Battler and Jessica. Okay. Wait. George? It's fine, this is Japan. Hey, yo, George. Since her body had changed radically, she didn't match my memories, but we used to know each other 6 years ago. It looked like she was just as shy as she had been in the past, but I got the sense that she had become imbued with the charm befitting a girl her age. Especially her breasts. Sorry, I was stuck in the loop. Got this
さっき会ったカノン君は彼女の弟なんだよ。
Yeah?
弟というわけでは。
Oh, so you're not siblings, it's just, okay.
でも、私のことを姉と慕ってくれます。
Okay, modify that later.
何か失礼なことはしませんでしたか？
Oh, I'll just actually, put it in, the siblings word in quotation marks. There we go. Didn't cause any trouble. No.
相変わらずいつも通りだぜ。もうちょっと愛想よくすればいいのによ。
Yeah, that
もっ
was the,
たいないやつ。
yeah, that was the, it's, the ending in her sentence.
カノン君がご迷惑をおかけしたようで、申し訳ございません。
別に迷惑なんか何も。同じ男としてわかるさ。ありゃ気難しい年頃だ。愛想が悪いのは当たり前だぜ。
マリアもよく言われる。愛想悪いって言われる。
That's, not a compliment, but sure. You seem happy about it, so sure.
カノンと一緒。マリア様は愛想悪くなんかありません。一緒がよかった。
食事の準備ができたんだっけ？
はい。失礼いたしました。お食事のご用意が整いましたので、皆様をお屋敷へご案内いたします。
To the mansion. Shannon bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. We realized that if we made her stick around for any more light conversation, it would actually make it harder for her to do her job. So we got up of our butts to avoid interfering with her work any further.
じゃあ、お屋敷に行こうか。みんなもお腹が空いてたところでしょ？
だな。ゴーダさんがいる時の飯は楽しみなんだよ。あの人、どこぞの有名ホテルでシェフをやってたらしくて、かなり料理の腕があるんだぜ。
ほうほう。
ほうほう。
そりゃ楽しみ。行こうぜマリア。ガツガツ犬みたいに食い散らかすぞ。
犬みたいに食い散らかす。
ダメダメ。バトラ君の言うことはいちいち真に受けちゃダメだよ。
Yes, you can. Well, that's a cool background, yeah. I never probably mentioned it. Maybe I did. This is definitely a line from Maria. Stuff ourselves like pigs.
全部冗談なんだから。さあ、行こう行こう。
Under Shannon-chan's guidance, we headed towards the mansion. The Rose Garden. Met once again by the magnificent Rose Garden, we continued onward as it came into view, the imposing mansion of the Ushiromiya main family. It's really funny because I'm currently reading another visual novel, and it also has like its main setting, a big mansion with Rose Garden. So that's kind of fun. It had apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost a half century hanging about it. Before the war. Yeah. On the surface, the building was gorgeous, but being as old as it was seemingly lacking in modern amenities like air conditioning. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially tough, what with all the drafts. Well, it's not like they couldn't just take the kotatsu out. Can I click on this or... Okay. No? Is this a scene change? Okay. Yeah. Hello, Genji. So it goes to tips. But that's, yeah. Let's just read these as they come, because, you know, it's better to do them as they come up rather than at the end of an episode when you might have forgotten the context. Even though I probably already know these, all of the meanings, or most, but still. Kotatsu is a table heater hybrid often used as an inexpensive way to keep warm in Japan during the cold months. It consists of a low-height table frame designed for use while sitting on the floor, with a heat source built into the underside of the frame. This is covered by a thick blanket to trap the heat, and a tabletop rests on top. The blanket can be removed, so the kotatsu can be used like a regular table. Yep. Hello, Genji. As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now him I remember. As the most senior member of the staff, Genji-san served as the head of the servants.
バトラ様、お久しゅうございます。
As our eyes met, he saluted us with a composed voice. He didn't give quite as refined a bow as Goda's, but it was a bow that had feeling, even if it wasn't polished to the same degree. I see.
源氏さん、本当にお久しぶりっす。お元気そうですね。
Sorry, I was looking at the background, this design. It's kind of like thorny heart, but also like this one looks like a spade. Spade and heart. I mean, it's probably not, but still. It's just the same design flipped upside down.
おかげさまで健やかに過ごさせていただいております。バトラ様こそご立派になられました。
He's still a boy inside.
親方様の若き日に少し似てこられましたな。
Master as in Kinzo and not Rudolph.
俺がじい様に？ってことは、さぞやじい様は若い頃モテたろうな。
ここからはシャノンに代わって私がご案内申し上げます。
Okay, goodbye, Shannon. Hello, Genji.
どうぞこちらへ。
Shannon-chan bowed deeply and saw us off. Leaving the entrance hall, we headed to the dining hall under Genji-san's guidance. Shannon, go fuck up Goda. Go kick his ass. Genji-san, just like Kumasawa-san, stood in a stark contrast to us young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His figure was exactly the same as in my memories of 6 years ago. It seemed like the time had stopped since the last time we met. No, but imagine if it actually had stopped. We have a grimoire, we have magic, probably. Genji-san was a silent and diligent person. He was like grandfather's close aide or caregiver. In fact, you could even go so far as to say he was grandfather's right-hand man. Yeah. Actually, it seems that he was by grandfather's side more than my late grandmother was. Who? Grandmother lore? According to Jessica, grandfather trusts him more than any of his blood relatives. Yeah? But I wonder how long he's served. I never asked for details. I think I heard he's been here since the beginning, when this mansion was constructed. That is to say, he's dedicated half of his life to serving here. Okay, so this... I mean, assuming he's just a regular, like, human with regular lifespan, that means that this mansion was... Let me just actually go back to... see if they said that it was actually before. Half a century, yeah. Wait, what? Where's the shortly after the war? Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, glad we got that cleared up. Yeah. Wait, after the war. And this is in 1986 is the year. Half a century, almost a half century. Yeah, okay, yeah. 46 to 86, yeah, 40 years. Yeah, so, okay. I was just wondering, because, we still haven't met Beatrice, and I was just wondering if, this was like a house or an island she used to live on, but this mansion itself at least seems not as old, because I assume that witches are like things that live for a long time or have been since who knows how long ago. So yeah, that was just something that came to my mind. No wonder grandfather trusts him. As we cut through the open-ceilinged hall behind Gemji-san, I found something I had no memory of from 6 years ago. Something new, something plot-related. Oh? Oh, this is new. I see. Hello, Beatrice. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Info there. She does have I don't know if that's the same logo, but it's similar-ish colors and wing-ish design. It was an awfully big portrait hung right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking, under its spell. Spell. Since I'd suddenly stopped, Maria, who was following behind me, ran into my back. Get wrecked, Maria?
ああ、悪い。なあ、ジェシカ。あんな絵、前はあったっけ?
Okay. It's I kind of assumed that that Kinzo had like known or seemingly worshipped Beatrice for like a billion years, but I guess it's recent. That makes my previous wondering about the age of this mansion less important, or I guess, I don't know. Maybe she is new to here, I don't know. I pointed at the large and conspicuous portraits hanging in the hall. Everyone else stopped too.
ああ、そっか。バトラが来てた頃には、あれはかけられてなかったっけ？いつからだったかな。
Or listen to me. When was it again? Maybe there's some time shenanigans again, and it had always been here, but at the same time it hadn't.
確か僕の記憶が正しければ一昨年あたりだったと思うよ。
The year before the last, the same year we got Goda Toshiro as our butler. Huh. Interesting. No, this year, last year, the year before that, the year we got Kanon here, right? Either the year we got Kanon here or the year we got Goda here.
さようでございます。一昨年の4月に親方様がかねてより画家に命じて描かせていたものをあそこに展示なされたのでございます。
Okay, I'll just write it down. April of the year before the last. And then point arrow. Beatrice painting. Beatrice painting. Commissioned. Yep. There we go. Maybe he willed Beatrice into existence. Or will Beatrice into existence by worshipping her. I don't know. Or maybe by bringing Beatrice's portraits around here. It's like with the Japanese mythos, or I don't know if it's Japanese, no, it's in general with the vampire mythos of not being able to enter into a room without permission. Maybe Beatrice needs to be somehow worshipped or represented in an area to be able to come into existence there. Maybe.
あのじいさまがね、わざわざ描かせてか。
The portrait depicted a woman in an elegant dress who gave off a sense of refinement and who seemed to suit the Western style of this mansion. I couldn't have guessed her age, but the sharpness and obvious strength of will in her eyes gave me the impression of youth. It was a different feeling than the composed mood of middle-aged women that are often in famous pictures. This woman had normal black hair. I might have thought it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. Yeah, even in this picture, it has like the lips make it seem like there's, and the eyebrows make it seem like there's almost a smug face, like she's above you. However, the woman in the portrait had beautiful golden hair and didn't look Japanese at all.
んで、誰だい？このご婦人はよ。
As though trying to show off her knowledge, Maria answered that simple question with authority.
Maria 知ってる。ベアトリーチェ。
Alright, they say it that way. Beatorice. Yeah. Maybe she's like a well-known occult witch figure in this world, because it was mentioned that Maria had useless, or not useless, but lots of trivia knowledge and was interested in black magic and occult.
ベア、なんだって？
ベアなんだって。
ベアトリーチェ。魔女だよ。バトラ君は昔聞かされたことない？
魔女？って、この島の？
Of this island. Okay. So it is, this is an island Beatrice is home to. I think I already said this, but Rokkejima is a small island that's only about 10 kilometers around. Yeah, and it was also mentioned that it's part of the Izu archipelago, also called the Izu 7, but there are actually more than 7 islands, and this is one of the smaller islands who are not counted into the Izu 7. However, considering that only the Ushiromiya family lives here, that's quite large. So, only a harbor and the site around the mansion were set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as it was when it was still uninhabited. To understand just how dangerous and a vast and empty forest with no lamplight, phones or people passing through it all actually is, you need to shift your urban assumptions a little. Yeah, no, I know. I do have my family has a summer cottage way out in the countryside with near a lake, and there's so much forest, and there's sometimes bears there and snakes. Not too much danger, but you know, you occasionally run into the big animal, and they often don't come into the like maintained land area, but you spot them in the fields or like at the edges of the forest. I usually don't want to go to into the forests themselves to like I don't know, gather berries or mushrooms or anything, but you might encounter them there. You see, if by any chance you fell down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprained your ankle, yeah, that is also a possibility. Yeah, right. Cry or scream, no one would come to save you. If it then got dark, the forest, where there are no streetlights, would become enshrouded in complete darkness. Also, since there obviously aren't any guideposts here, it's easy to get lost and lose your sense of direction in the dark forest. Skill issue. I've never gotten lost in a forest, despite not knowing the forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place, but to the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were like oceans on land, geographically separating one culture from another. That's a good way to put it. Just as fishermen who go out into the ocean occasionally have their lives put in danger despite their technical knowledge was also demanded of hunters who went out into the forest, and their lives were occasionally put in danger just the same. If a child were to go play in that dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Some parents must have had that thought, yeah. Maybe my grandmother, or possibly the man himself, my grandfather, might have said it. I'm kind of curious about your grandmother. She's been mentioned now twice, but we know nothing about her. Only that she's dead. Or maybe it was a story handed down on this island from long, long ago. There's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. Thus, Rokkenjima's ghost story was born. Maybe that was the thing Kumasawa was about to mention in the boat in part 2. But Jessica stopped her. That is the legend of the witch of Rokkenjima. What was the title of this first chapter or first episode? Legend of the Golden Witch. Is it? It doesn't say here. Oh well. So, when we say witch on this island, we are referring to the master of the vast and savage forest. Which reminds me, when I was little and stayed at this mansion, during the eerie nights where the wind and rain struck the windows, stories like the witch of the forest is roaming around in search of a sacrifice would scare the heck out of me. Ooh. Are we gonna get sacrifices later on in this game? Yeah? Beatrice. 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 I like how they always capitalize it in I don't know if it's different fonts or if it's just, no, it's probably the same fonts. As I searched my memory, prompted by Aniki, I did vaguely remember being told that was her name when I was very small.
なるほどな。しかし、あの魔女伝説の魔女にベアトリーチェなんておしゃれな名前がついてたとは、とんと忘れてたぜ。
You did forget that, I suppose.
じいさまめ。孫たちが信じないもんだから、わざわざ絵に描きやがったか？
じいさまの妄想の中の魔女だよ。この絵を掲げた頃から、現実と幻想の区別がつかなくなり始めた。
Hey, me for real, for real.
私たちにとっては想像の中の魔女に過ぎないけど、じいさまにとっては、彼女はこの島にいる存在。
Sure.
いる。だから、それを理解することができない私たちにもわかるよう、あの絵を描かせたって言うんだけど。
Okay.
気持ち悪いったらありゃしないぜ。
Sure.
お嬢様、親方様にとっては大切な肖像画です。
Yeah, more important than anything. Probably even more than you guys or you.
親方様の前でそのようにおっしゃられることがございませんよう、固くお願い申し上げます。
わかってるぜ。頼まれても言わねえよ。
Not willing to make an enemy of your grandfather, make him angry. Jessica turned away after glaring a second at the portrait.
行こうよ。食堂にみんなを待たせてるよ。
お腹すいた。
Only a small portion of this island is controlled by the Ushurumia family. If all of the wild remainder was the witch Beatrice's domain, the capitalization made me emphasize on different syllables, which fucked me up. Then one could say that she was the being who actually ruled over Rokkanjima. That unsettling, ominous feeling I had felt on the boat trip when I learned that the shrine had been struck by lightning revived within me a bit. I wonder if she's the only witch, or if we are gonna later on meet more. Because Maria feels like Maria is a weird character, and I feel like she will do things later on in this game, and I'm kind of scared of that. But also, besides this, we are in an archipelago, and if this island is the domain of Beatrice, what about other islands? Are there other witches on other islands? Maybe. And I forget if it's in Japanese religion where 7 is a holy number, but yeah, maybe. At that time, Kumasawa-san had tried to tell an ominous story about Rokkenjima and had been stopped by Jessica. Okay, we're bringing this up. I didn't know what she had tried to tell us about this island, but there was one thing I did know. Rokkenjima's ruler was not the Ushuramiya family. It was the witch Beatrice. Yes, because this was the witch's island. Okay, Mari, hold on. But then again, they do say the witch, which would imply that she is the only one. So, you know. And the title of this episode, I believe, is The Legend of the Golden Witch. So maybe, because it's less likely that there are others. But who knows? If there's one, there's probably more. I mean, why not?
遅い
But I don't know if this game would focus on others. I mean, it might at one point say that there are others, but they may never be the focus of this story. It's just Beatrice. When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining hall. I hurriedly chased after them. We walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining hall. Genji-san knocked.
お子様方をお連れいたしました。
That previous track that had been playing for quite a while, I feel like it was a bit louder than the rest of the tracks. Maybe I don't think I turned up any volume settings anywhere. Anyways.
失礼いたします。
The door was opened and we were invited inside. Oh, before I forget, let me just, because we did get character sprites. Let me just see if we got anything here. Okay, we finally did get these. Yeah, okay. Shannon, a young but experienced servant. She's normally calm and performs her job flawlessly, but she messes up when she gets nervous. Furthermore, Shannon is nothing more than a pseudonym that she uses when on duty, not her real name. Okay, yeah, so I assume we didn't get this portrait earlier, either because we are from Battler's POV, although I feel like these portraits would have been unlocked anyways, but it was probably because of this line here. Or maybe I don't know. Rono Genji, head servant, leading all the other servants who work for the Ushiromiya family. He has served Kinzo longer than any other and has earned his creator's trust. Since he serves Kinzo directly, Kraus and Natsuhi think of him as Kinzo's spy. There we go. Let me just check that there was nothing more here either. Yeah, okay. The door was opened and we were invited inside. Let's do at least this whole scene, then I'll see if I continue further. The dining hall, which screamed filthy rich, featured a super long table which was obviously designed with no other purpose than to make the guests conscious of their rank. And our parents were already seated at it in accordance with that ordering.
遅えぞガキども、早く席につけよ。
The old bastard pressed us to sit. Only the places where we would sit were empty at the long table, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. I also have a very specific spot in my grandparents' house where I always sit. I don't think anyone else has a designated seat, but my grandfather, he does tend to sit next to me always. Yeah. The seat at the very head of the table, which you might call the seat of honor, was for the most highly ranked and reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He was probably planning to come in last to make himself look important. Which people be like that. Seating order as you faced the seat of honor went from left to right in rows of 2, with the highest ranking being lower the further you were from it. So, on the left-hand side of the row closest to the seat of honor was the second-ranked seat, belonging to the eldest of the adult siblings, Uncle Kraus. It looked like he hadn't arrived yet, so that seat was empty. And then, opposite of him, on the right-hand side of the first row, sat the eldest daughter of the family, Auntie Eva, ranked at number 3. The left-hand side of the second row was for number 4. There sat the old bastard, Rudolph, as the third of the siblings. Opposite him sat number 5. the youngest sibling, Auntie Rosa. Wait, why 5? Okay, well, here they say youngest and they said 4th earlier, so yeah, okay, so there are only 4 confirmed. Wait, but who's number 4 then? Is it Jessica? Oh, the number 4 might be skipped because of Japanese bullshit of 4 being a cursed number or a bad omen. Going like this, you might think that the next ones to come would be their husbands and wives, but no, they are the grandchildren. Maybe? Guess again, because the left-hand side in the following 3rd row, meaning rank number 6, was actually Jessica's seat. Opposite her was George Aniki. Then the seat next to Jessica was me, and opposite of you was Maria. Yep, opposite me was Maria. And next to me, on the left-hand side of the 5th row, all the way down at number 10, finally came Aunt Natsuhi. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. And next to Aunt Natsuhi, in the 6th and final row on the left-hand side, was Kirie-san. The seat opposite to Kirie-san had been laid out like the others, but was empty. I kind of like that Kirie. I feel like she has one of the more mysterious auras about her, but she's the lowest ranked member at this table. I like that. According to this ranking system, that spot was the seat where Auntie Rose's husband should be sitting, but we don't know anything about them. He hasn't come, as far as I know, yet. The table had been laid for his seat. These kind of ranking orders usually permit the spouse a corresponding status, but the Ushiromiya family had an original kind of ranking. Maybe it's a leftover of male chauvinism, under the notion that a mother's womb is only a temporary house for the child, and she contributes no genes. Wow, okay. The children of direct descent would have the highest ranking, followed by the grandkids. Damn! What the fuck is this? Meaning that the spouses with no blood ties would be considered the last in line. It's terrible, yeah. But according to that ranking order, grandmother, if she was still alive, would be in a position even lower than mine. In youth, obey your father. After marriage, your husband. After aging, your children. Damn. That's messed up. A leftover of the times when they used to say, "Woman, no home in 3 worlds. No home in 3 worlds." Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat with the adult siblings sitting in their group and as cousins in ours. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs up some very complicated feelings for me. Aunt Natsuhi married to the eldest son of the family, responsible for managing the household, and number 2 for all practical intents and purposes sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was difficult to guess what was going through her head. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
Yeah, he has.
はい。食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたら、いつの間にかこんな身長に。
さすが男の子ね。身長はいくつくらいあるの？
He was in the 180s, right?
180かな。つーかおばさん、そこは食べてばっかりじゃねえかって突っ込んでくださいよ。
Battler, I feel like you've developed some weird sense of expectation of people to go along with your way of thinking without ever actually letting the other party know how they're supposed to react. But we love you for that. It's definitely a character quirk of yours.
ああ。ごめんなさいね。
After a moment, she gave a small laugh, but it seemed she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This woman is Aunt Natsuhi. Oh, there was a sound. Does that mean that we got updated a character? No, but yeah, she was already there. No, she wasn't. Okay. Should I read whatever Battler's about to say about her first and then go there? Yeah, because we might get new info here. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning she's my dad's older brother's wife. Is it easy to get it if I call her Jessica's mother? It feels bad to say it like this, but not that I hated her, but I didn't particularly like her. She never got into our kids' circle, and my only impression of her was someone who always talked about complicated stuff with my parents while having a crabby expression on her face. The fact is that having barely ever exchanged words, I hesitated a lot, even just now, about how to approach her. And it was pretty much a flop, yeah. Okay. I think that was the sound cue. I'll probably remember it from now on. Ushiromiya Natsuhi, Krause's wife, manages the household of the Ushiromiya head family in place of her husband, who takes little interest. For this family conference, again, she was the one who took charge of making all the preparations and arrangements. Possesses a strong sense of responsibility and a great deal of pride. However, neither her husband nor his siblings understand her very well, so her position is far from enviable. Neither her husband nor his siblings. Right. So Krause's siblings, right? These people. Okay. But Krause doesn't care. Okay. Interesting. The silverware had been tidily set up on the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought in. As a rule, the meal doesn't start until the man at the head of the table has taken his seat. So, as long as grandfather, the highest ranked, didn't come, lunch would be indefinitely on hold, and before he doesn't show up at all and you're just sitting here like 12 hours, 24 hours, the entire conference. Not even the appetizers would come. In other words, the silence in the dining hall was the sound of our parents as they withstood their hunger and waited on tenterhooks for grandfather to come. Except the grandfather I remembered always showed up at the right time when we ate together like this. He's currently busy praising Beatrice. He wouldn't ever have been so late as to have everyone else waiting on him.
遅えな、じいさま。俺の記憶じゃ、時間に厳格な人だったと思うんだけどな。
Who cares about food when you have a waifu?
まあ、6年前はそうだったかもな。最近はそうでもねえよ。というか、もう自分の世界オンリーって感じで。会食にも顔を出さねえぜ。さすがに今日くらいは足並みを揃えてくれるって思ってたんだけどな。まあ、私は来ない方が気楽で嬉しいけどよ。
Can you guys start the dinner if he decides he won't show up?
ジェシカ!
After being scolded by her mother, Jessica faced the other way, sticking her tongue out. No way around it. Nothing to do but wait for the host to arrive. When I glanced at the clock, I saw that it was almost 20 minutes past 12. It's been 20 minutes in game and it's been how long since I've been recording? Hour 30. Hello, Kinzo. This is weird. Your cloak goes... Well, I guess it's... I don't know. The necktie goes above the cloak, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to go. The aged master of the Ushiromiya head house, Ushiromiya Kinzo. He was there in his study. The clock showed noon, but he didn't even attempt to get up. With reading glasses on his face, he stacked up old-fashioned books with elaborately designed bindings on one on top of another beside him, immersing himself in their reading. It definitely didn't look like it was for his leisure. On the contrary, he exuded impatience, crisis, as though every minute, every second were precious. What's up? You studying something about Beatrice? The sealed room was dense with dancing dust particles, and the air stagnated with a mix of smells of various elixirs, each giving off its own suspicious stench. They were somehow sweet and heavy. For anyone with a good nose, the first thing they'd do after entering would be to open a window and ventilate the room.
Otou-san! Otou-san!
The knocking against the study door had been going on for a while, and I heard a voice saying Otou-san, and that was not the voice of Rudolph, so I assumed that was Krause's voice. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book he had in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then he yelled at Krause, who was continuing to knock on the door.
Yakamoshi! その音を止めぬか愚か者! 叩けば扉は開かれると誰が教えた? そのバカ者は貼り付けにしたぞ.
They did?
お前もそうされたいのか?
お父さん、年に一度の親族会議の日ではありませんか。皆下に集まっています。どうかおいでください。
Krause called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself up in the study and hated letting even his family into the room. For that reason, Krause had no choice but to call out, thus from the corridor.
私にかがうでない。
Interesting translation. Don't worry about me or don't mind me, is what he said in Japanese. Molest me not. I mean, I know this is a word to use, but it's definitely not the most common one for this situation. It's just kind of funny.
皆とは何か私をここから引きずり出そうとする者どもなのか? ならば殺してしまい!
I feel like this might actually happen. I mean, I hope not.
バラバラにして巻きにして魔女の炉にくべてしまい!
Okay. Just write that down next to poisoning mentioned. Chop them up. Make them firewood. Firewood. Feed them to the witch's hearth. Okay, later on we get cannibalism. Hog.
その炉には鍋をかけて苦いおもぎを煮るがいい.
I'll still write that down. Put a pot in that hearth and boil wormwood. Sure. And in quotation marks and
黙示録の煮汁はそれでも私をここから連れ出そうとするバカ者どもに飲ませてやれ。
force them drink that broth of the apocalypse.
残りは酒につけるのだ。
Preserve the rest in the remain in liquor.
ああ、源氏はどこだ?
Okay, end quotation mark and Kinzo. Sorry, that was probably unnecessary, but you know. I had already committed to live updating my notes.
源氏を呼べ。苦害の魔酒を用意させろ。
Sure.
緑の妖精のささやきが届かぬ。ああ、源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
Genji. Before the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who would not come out. Oh, you have a design. I thought it would be different. I'm not sure how I feel about your design.
すっかり嫌われてしまったようだ。もう私の声では何も届かんよ。
Kraus shrugged as though saying it's no use and smiled bitterly. Okay, I didn't yet hear this sound, but let me just check if... No, okay, but Kinzo was added here. Ushiromiya Kinzo, the H-head of the Ushiromiya family, brimming with energy despite being pronounced to have only a short time left to live, amassed a vast fortune but has never made any announcement about his inheritance, which worries his children. Strongly influenced by the West and a rabid fan of the occult, his study is packed with mysterious grimoires. He himself hadn't believed for a moment that his father would answer his calls. However, as it was the duty of the eldest son, he had formally made the request.
Kinzo さん、あんたの顔を見に、息子や娘や孫たちが来てるんじゃないか。
Oh, right, they're saying more like Kinzo. Should I say Kinzo instead of Kinzo? I don't know.
ちょっと顔を見せてやったらどうだね。
Fuck the family.
うるさい、黙れ。
Nanjo doesn't understand the power of having a waifu.
私に意見するというか南條。貴様など呼んではおらぬ。私は源氏を呼べと言ったのだ。さあ急げ、すぐに呼べ。時間は常に有限だ。人たちはすでにラッパを構えているぞ。なぜにそれがわからぬか、愚かな羊どもめ。
Kinzo slammed the old heavy book on the table over and over. The racket obviously indicated his highest displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide open, as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled.
なぜだ。なぜにいつも私には邪魔が入るのか。 全てを捨てよう、全てを捧げよう。その見返りに私は一つしか求めないというのに。
Yeah?
おー、ベアトリーチェ、お前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば、私は世界中から美少を奪い取り、全てをお前に捧げよう。
My man is crying tears.
おお、イナゴの軍団長たちよ、世界中から美少を刈り取り収穫せ。
He's so insane, and I love it. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the accurate depiction of an anime fan who has a waifu or an idol fan who has an oshi.
全てが汚らわしい、全てが煩わしい。なぜこの貴重な一日に私は邪魔を受けねばならぬのか。
Fun sounds. I mean, not for him probably, but still. It just keeps going.
源氏を呼べ。
何を怒鳴ってるのかもさっぱりだな。
My man, your dad is literally dying there, and you're just like, fun.
もう頭がどうにかなっているのだろう。
クラウスさん、実のお父さんにそりゃあんまりじゃないかね。
Maybe, but maybe he's just after the inheritance.
親父はすでに死んでいる。
Okay, Kenshiro.
ここにいるのは親父だったものの幻さ。
No, but this line here, I earlier on I discussed about something like Beatrice necessarily not being here but being summoned here. This kind of line is also something that crossed my mind, that someone is already dead, but there is a phantom or like a fake thing still here, lingering, and people just don't realize it.
いずれにせよ本人にここを出る意思がない以上どうにもならんね。
金蔵さん。
Choking coughs continued to pour from the study.
私は下に戻る。ゴーダの自慢のランチをこれ以上無駄に冷ましてしまうことはない。
Oh, and it was Goda was your facial expression and your mannerism. Yeah, now I fully now understand. You and Goda are very similar in nature.
親類たちにとって当家での数少ない楽しみだろうからな。
So I guess in this game we hate Kraus and Goda and stan everyone else. Kraus spun on his heels. He looked at his wristwatch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain.
源氏さん、親父殿がお呼びだ。相手を頼む。 かしこまりました。南條先生、食事に行きましょう。いつまでもここにいると、この甘い匂いで味覚までおかしくなってしまう。
Okay, Nanjo gets to eat too. Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo looked first to Kraus's back as he disappeared down the stairs, then to the study door, and he let out a deep sigh.
すまんが源氏さん、頼みます。
はい、お任せください。
お酒はなるべく与えないように。あれは常習性が強すぎる。源氏はまだか。何者が源氏を阻んでいるというのか。源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
さあ、 ここはお任せください。
すみませんな。
Nanjo gave a small duck of his head and descended the stairs. Genji saw him off and knocked at the study door.
親方様、源氏でございます。
源氏か。何故私をこれほどに待たすのか。そこには誰もおるまいな。
はい、私だけでございます。
Yeah. Kinzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. Okay. Mechanism activating. Ooh, spooky mystery stuff. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kinzo believed that his family might try to break into his study. Perhaps someone once opened the window for some air and scattered some important documents or something. And that had made him extremely upset. Oh, so that was probably like a locking mechanism for the main door? Maybe? Or maybe that was unlocking some mystery thing. Now, Kinzo had placed a secure lock in his room. Okay, yeah, just a lock. Making it so that without his permission, nobody could enter, and locking himself in the dungeon he himself created. Genji, who he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that was not absolute. If Kinzo was in a bad mood, even he wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, not even seeing his face. And most of the time, they wouldn't even get a real conversation. However, that didn't pose any particular problem for the family. That was because they had no reason to go out of their way to interfere with the retirement of the cantankerous and aged head. The fact that he was completely immersed in his odd research and always locked up in his hideaway was something of a benefit. They made the most of his refusal to leave the study, entrusting him to the hands of the servants, while they themselves kept their distance.
Genji, いつものやつを頼む。
Ayo, drinking?
私は忙しい。
はい。
Yeah, I'll make sure he doesn't get any alcohol immediately. Genji headed to a corner of the study. There, suspicious-looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. Right there. They were actually liquor, but considering that they were placed in this shady-looking room, you could almost suspect they might be ghastly poisons. The inside of Kinzo's the study was filled with mountainous library of outlandish books that Kinzo had amassed. They were bizarre old books, some banned, and each and every one of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. Of course, if one were to actually call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say something like this. Call them grimoires. There were candles which had melted in a suspicious-looking fashion and had taken on peculiar forms and all manner of other strange objects, probably having something to do with black magic. Yeah? The constellations covering the celestial globe would have caused anyone who knew the night sky well to raise an eyebrow. The illustrations inscribed in old books, haphazardly left open, ranged from the religious and mystical, to the demonic and grotesque, as well as bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, the sweet, poisonous smell that filled the room, which to those entering for the first time would surely be a profound assault on their sense of sight, smell, and all their other senses, making them lose their grip on reality. Inside that study, Genji, with his well-trained hand, prepared Kinzo's usual drink. If you didn't know that the ghastly dark green liquid that filled the complexly designed bottle was liquor, you certainly wouldn't want to put it in your mouth. He poured a small quantity of the spirit into the glass, placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon, and then poured the water from a pitcher over it. We're getting quite a description just for pouring some liquor. Is this important? Genji, my man, are you poisoning Kinzo? Which is why he's coughing and dying. Strangely, when the colorless water was poured into it, the dark green liquid turned a cloudy white. It created the strange visual illusion that the water had caused a chemical reaction, which made it all the more difficult to perceive the concoction as liquor. To this, he added an original flavoring that Kinzo liked, and fine-tuned the taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swing when he drank it, and he had learned how to make it only after many decades. Genji placed the glass on a tray and made his way over to Kinzo. Kinzo was now gazing out the window.
どうぞ、親方様。
ああ、すまん。
Kinzo had regained his composure, so much so that he was now unrecognizable as the man who had been shouting, screaming, and yelling just moments before. In that man's back dwelt a dignity and intelligence made plain simply by how he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window. Genji, in order to allow Kinzo to set down his glass anytime, motionlessly waited behind and to his left, as though he were a living sideboard. As he did, Kinzo stuck out just a glass, his gaze still directed at the world outside the window. There was just a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set it upon the tray, as Genji expected, but was a motion to hand the glass over to Genji.
飲め。
Ooh.
我が友よ。
もったいないお言葉です。
私とお前の中に儀礼はいらぬ。飲め、友よ。
Will you drink it?
いただきます。
Okay, maybe not poisoned then. Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. Then he downed it in one gulp.
お前が作るのを真似ているのだがどうにも同じ味が出ぬ。お前が作る方がうまい。
ありがとうございます。親方様のご指導の賜物です。
Kinzo smiled at his loyal subject, who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. He was relaxed, like a smile at a close friend's unreadable bad habit.
互いに老いたな。年を数えることも忘れてすでに久しい。
Okay.
今日まで過ごすことをお許しいただけたのも、すべて親方様のおかげでございます。
Kinzo gave a thin smile, as if to say he didn't need compliments.
今日まで本当によく私に仕えてくれた。
This dialogue here makes me think that one of them will die. I mean, Kinzo has been set to die anytime now, but like, still.
息子たちは誰もが私を変人呼ばわりした。大勢いた使用人も皆私を恐れてやめていった。お前だけが今でも私に仕えてくれる。
もったいないお言葉です。
私の余命もそう長くはあるまい。息子たちは私の遺産がいつ転がり込んでくるかをうろうろ待つハゲタカばかりだ。
Well, yeah, at least Kraus. Well, I guess most of them, but at least the older siblings, or like your kids, not the grandchildren. I guess maybe not Rosa.
苦 クラウスの愚か者は金を湯水のように使い、1枚の金貨を売るのに2枚の金貨を捨てておる。それで金を稼げたなどと妄言を。エヴァは金の亡者だ。あやつは私を鶏か何かだと思っておる。
Thinking of me as a hen or whatnot, based.
死んだらガラにして出汁まで取る気だ。
Based?
ルドルフの間抜けは女遊びばかり。
Oh, he started crying.
ローザはどこの馬の骨ともわからん男の赤ん坊など産みおって。
For nobody, okay.
ジェシカは無能で無学だ。ジョージには男としての器がない。
But you like, Battler?
バトラーは後ろ宮家の栄誉を自ら捨ておった愚か者だ。
But he came back. He came back. So if that's your only complaint about him, hey, maybe he's good in your book. What about Maria? Maybe you love Maria.
マリアなど見るのも汚らわしい。
Never mind. He fucking hates kids.
なぜだ、なぜに後ろ宮の血はこうも無能なのか。私の築き上げた栄光を受け継ぐにふさわしい者はおらんのか。ああ、分かっておるとも。これがベアトリーチェの呪いであることも分かっておる。
Oh, wait, let me just... Okay, I'm still recording. My mouse did a weird loading thing, so... Wondered if something was going on. If, like, it stopped recording, but no. Beatrice's curse. Interesting. What did you do? Or maybe it's just because you guys are settled on this island?
黄金の魔女め、それが私への復讐のつもりか。
What's going on between you and Beatrice?
憎みたくば憎むがよい。逃げたければ逃げるがよい。逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬわ。お前は私のものだ。常に私の腕の中でなくてはならん。
Hey yo, Kinzo? We have a stalker?
私の生涯のすべてなのだ。我が鳥かごにて永遠に私だけにささやき続けるのだ。
I feel like whenever you die, be it soon or at the end of this game or whenever, Beatrice is just gonna T-pose on your grave.
ベアトリーチェ、なぜに微笑み返してはくれぬ。
Maybe she thinks it's cringe that you want to cage her. Or maybe she finds that based but doesn't want herself to be the one caged. Kinzo came. Yeah? After howling, Kinzo choked once again and then died. Genji set the tray and the glass down and patted his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. It was always like this.
すまぬ、我が友よ。
After his almost deranged outburst of the past few minutes settled down, Kinzo regained his composure once more. The way his attitude changed was like seeing two different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body.
故に、私は決心した。
Okay, what's up?
このままぼやき切った余生を怠慢に過ごすことなど、もはや耐えられはせん。
You going on the offensive?
この身に最後にとするコインがあるならば、それは悪魔たちのルーレッ トに託してみたい。
Hey, yo.
魔法の力はいつもかけるリスクで決まる。
I mean, it depends on your story, I guess. But I do like magic systems where where it's a double-edged sword, or like you have to risk something to gain even more power. That's always nice.
日本古来の呪術である牛の国参りがそうであろう。7日間儀式を目撃されてはならないというリスクを支払うからこそ魔力が宿る。
Magic power dwells in incurring the risk that it will be seen before 7 days pass. 7 days, 7 islands of the Izu archipelago.
困難なリスクが生じれば生じるほどに魔力は強く生じるのだ。神話に登場する数々の奇跡は天文学的リスクに奇跡的な低確率を得て成就した驚愕すべき魔力の結晶なのだと言える。
Okay.
モーゼが海を割ったのは神の奇跡ではない。
It was just Beatrice, you know.
蹂躙の計りに乗せられ軍勢によって航海に追い詰められた絶体絶命のリスクが奇跡の魔力を生んだのだ。
You know, I like this this idea.
同じことが同じ規模で繰り返されようとも再び海が割れることはないだろう。
Right.
なぜならモーゼは力ある者たちのルーレットのアソーギナユタをかけたよりも多く存在する目の中に一つだけ刻まれた奇跡を見事引き寄せることができたからだ。
Holy fuck, those are big numbers. Are those like the amount of atoms there are in the observable universe? Let's check it.
その天文学的確率に勝利できる力。
Or are those like examples of people who had unbelievable luck? Tips. Large Japanese numbers. Athogi and Nayuta are very large ancient Japanese numbers. Ah, I see. Modern Japanese is more likely to express numbers of this size using powers of 10, just like Western languages. The English counting system expresses numbers using a 1000-based system. 1000 x 1000 million, x 1000 is billion, x 1000 is trillion. Yeah. But Japanese uses a system based on 10,000 instead. Oh right, yeah. I didn't quite know this, but I always found it odd that Japanese YouTube videos had like the way they marked the amount of millions or thousands was different from what Western people were used to. Okay, this explains that. But Japanese uses a system based on 10,000 instead, which can make converting between the two quite confusing. Yeah, okay. From 1 all the way up to Nayuta, it goes Ichi, Man, Okucho, Kegai. Okay, so Man, yeah, this one I knew. Oku, yeah, million, 100 million, yeah. Cho, 1 trillion. Ke, 10 quadrillion. Gai, 100 quintillion. Yeah, 1, 10, 100, 1, 10, 100, 1,000, million, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, yeah. From about here, the numbers are not common knowledge. Jo, Ho, Kan, Se, 1 septillion, yeah. 1, 10, 100, 1, 10, 100 would be again, yeah. Sept, oct, non. Undecillion, duodecillion. Oh, yeah. Goku jump scare. Yeah. 101 again. Go Gasha. Is 10 to the 52. Okay. Uh, 1060. Asogi is, yeah, 100 decillion, and Nayuta, very large number, 1 novemdecillion. Multiplied together, Asogi and Nayuta give a number so large that it doesn't have a Japanese name. Okay. Math. Numbers. The power to triumph over astronomical odds.
そう、奇跡をつかみ取る運気はすなわち魔力なのだ。強大な魔力を得るためには絶望的なリスクを背負わねばならぬ。魔力持たぬ者はそれを賭けでなく自暴自棄と呼ぼう。
Okay.
しかし真に魔力ある者はその奇跡をつかみ取り神秘を成就させるのだ。
And make the enigma come into being.
もしも私にその魔力があるならば、私はその奇跡をつかみ取るだろう。生涯を費やした願いを実現できるだろう。
Kinzo looked up to the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies.
もし私にその奇跡を手にする資格があったなら、おお、ベアトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ。
Yeah?
お前の愛くるしい笑顔をもう一度だけ見せてくれ。
You'd want to spend all your everything just to get a lovely smile from Beatrice. Yeah.
どれほどの月日を経ようともお前の面影が消えることはない。ただお前の美少が見たい、それだけだ。お前から授かったものをすべて返そう。
I'll return everything you granted me. What did she grant you? Maybe your entire wealth? Like the fact that you are a rich family? Maybe?
あの日からの栄光をすべてお前に返そう。富も名誉も黄金もいらぬ。お前に授かったすべてを返そう。私はただお前の美少が見たいだけなのだ。ご賞だ、ベアトリーチェ。
My man is desperate, so desperate. Props to the voice actor though. His nonsensical yells segued into a scream and then into a wail. Kinzo crumbled onto the floor and clawed at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lament. His word has been ruined by Genshin. By Xiao. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, Shokun.
This is where I will have to end it, even if we still have a short dining scene here, because I've been going at it for a while and I need to get ready to leave to work in less than an hour, so I need to get this recording set up and edited and whatnot. Yeah, this was a fun episode. We finally learned more about Kinzo and Beatrice and of this island, I guess. Some stuff about magic, occult, grimoires, wishes, desires and powers. I'll quickly check if we nope, still no Kraus here. Maybe after this convo he would appear. And there was yeah, we have everyone else except Kraus and assumedly the grandmother. They did mention that her husband was like, or Maria's father was like unknown, but the fact that there isn't even empty portrait here makes me feel like we are never going to find out about him, at least in this first episode of this game. But we might find about the grandmother. I'm just assuming this is the grandmother and not the father of Mario. Let me just check if I don't know if they will update these. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, trivia, black magic. Yeah. Yeah, pseudonym. Yeah, okay. Nothing there, and yeah, no updates to these things at least yet. Let me just still check this. Yeah, nothing here to... Yeah, we'll end the episode here, and I'll think more about this episode on the down low and come back with my thoughts for the next part. But yeah, if you want an early access, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. You can get up to 2 weeks of early access. So if that interests you, go there. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.